Second day of the Day of Champions presented by Hockey Nova Scotia and Bell 5 TV1 is the Bantam A Provincial Final up for grabs. It is a battle of North versus South, the South being represented here by the Sackville Flyers and the North, the Antigonish Bulldogs. Hi everybody, Dan Hobson, delighted to have the call here for you on this one. Should be a dandy of a game. Seasons have been pretty well similar here for both of these teams here, so we should be in for an excellent final game here to wrap up day number 2 of coverage. The Flyers come in 7-1-0 in the playoffs, and for the Antigonish Bulldogs, best regular season of 13 wins, 5 losses, and 6 ties, and this will be their 49th game this season, and they have a record of 27-13-8. And if you're just tuned in and you didn't get a chance to see the introductory, of course, the hockey community right across this country is really saddened with the news that broke out of Humboldt, Saskatchewan. The Humboldt Bolts, who play in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, their bus had an accident and they lost 14 people on that bus. 14 others have been taken to hospital, 3 in serious condition. So Hockey Nova Scotia, as well as the Bell 5 TV1 family, we are offering our hearts, our thoughts to them at this difficult time, and our condolences as well. So with heavy hearts, we play on here at the second day of the Day of Champions here from Truro, Nova Scotia's Community Union Arena in Truro, Nova Scotia. So with that all said, nothing much else to do but drop the puck at center ice between the Flyers and the Bulldogs. Flyers, they're all ready to go. Starting goaltender is Braden Sampson. Braden is a center fielder for the Tri-County Rangers when they play baseball, so it's only a custom that he actually be the center of attention in that net there of the Flyers, hoping maybe to backstop his team to a championship. And the puck has dropped and we're underway, and it's going to be a loud one here at the Community Credit Union Arena. The Bulldogs in the white, they're going to be the home team, and the Flyers, the orange, the road team. Puck just kept in there by Jesse McDonald. There's a lot of McDonalds there on this team here. Meantime, Murphy was trying to go in there for a chance, and there is a lot of Murphys on the Flyers team. There's Murphy with a shot, and the stop made there by the Antigonish goaltender. Adam Ketch getting the start here in this game. 28 seconds into this opening period. Andrew Murray trying to get things going here for the Bulldogs. Pound will send it back in, and it's knocked down there by Curran McDonald. He's the top scorer here for the Antigonish Bulldogs, 20 points in the regular season. Andrew Murray, rink wide. Jesse McDonald goes in, dumped in after it. First one back, Sam Swinimer, a stay-at-home defenseman here for the Flyers. As we come up to 1 minute gone here in the... And I have been... Real quick mistake off the top. It's Brett Boyd starting, my apologies. Brett Boyd, the starting goaltender for the Antigonish Bulldogs, and Adam Ketch is the backup. And we have a penalty just past the 1 minute mark, minute 7 gone. And an early power play coming up for the Antigonish Bulldogs, as Swinimer looks to be heading to the gate for an interference penalty. So the Antigonish Bulldogs have a chance to get first crack in this one. Slapped there by the Flyers, and a nice job there, but it could work out to be a 2-on-1 shorthanded chance, but getting back just in time there was the Bulldogs, but snuffed that out. Stat Cook will dump it in, and it'll be Randall first back there for the Flyers. Up the boards here to Josh Jackman, and Jackman will get it out the rest of the way. Adam Stalker first back there for the Bulldogs, and actually looked around on his shoulder, and that allowed Jackman to take it there for the Flyers. So he's killing some precious seconds here in that interference penalty there to Swinimer for interference. They set up Sims there out front there, or Hines, pardon me, with the shot, and it goes wide towards the net. My apologies there to the Hines family. Brady Hines there, and this is a good penalty kill here for the Flyers. They're really pressing here. Flyer player goes down, no call. Play continues on. Most of this power play has been down in the Bulldog zone as the Flyers have just been really doing a great job killing this penalty. And now they'll send the puck down right on goal, and Brett Boyd does make that one as he puts the blocker and paddle down to settle it down here for the Bulldogs, who are breaking out here with Dante McDonald. Turns on the Jets, hits center ice area, now crosses the blue line. Takes a bump there from a couple of taller Flyers, gets knocked down, gets right back up. Bulldogs with a shot there that goes wide. They did get a good chance, but a nice little individual rush to get that going there by Dante McDonald. John Boyd, did he hold it in? Yes, momentarily, but it's picked up by the Flyers and sent down the ice, and there's 20 seconds left. And the penalty to Sam Swinmer, who's off for interference. Good start for both of these teams, but even better here for the Flyers on the penalty kill. Bulldogs really haven't got much in terms of a shot, and this may kill the remaining seconds. 8 seconds left as it's dumped in there by the Bulldogs' McDonald, Jesse McDonald. Flyers first back, sent it high to the glass. Kept a long line there by John Boyd. In behind the net as the penalty to Swinmer is over. And the teams are even strength, and Murphy hops over the boards there for the Flyers. So even strength here as we're coming up to the 3.5-minute mark here in the first period. Pass there, Murphys get together. Owen Murphy, no relation. Hudson Murphy, 2 and 3, and Everett are the twins on this team. There's a shot there by Murphy. Oh, and a quick reaction there by Boyd. Just in the nick of time. Hudson Murray with a good chance, and it almost hit the defenseman, and Boyd reacted quickly, kicked it out of harm's way before it trickled over the line. So it's still no scores. We're coming up to the 4-minute mark here. Shots 3-1 in favor of the Flyers. As Finley Howe had his stick checked there by the Bulldogs there, center ice area. Flyers going back. Malachi Finley Howe with the puck. Had it for a long time, set it up to the neutral ice area. Here is Pound now. Luke Pound going in, but he's stopped there outside the line. Hines will send it in and chase after it there for the Flyers as we come up to the 4.5-minute mark here of the first period. And back on his Jets, McEachran here for the Antigonish Bulldogs, and he stopped. And now for burst of speed, Hines now going down the middle. Hines now make a move, drops it back to Jackman, and a nice stick there by the Bulldogs, and back they break out. Liam Statcook all by himself. Statcook takes it to the net and gets it over the net on the shot. How he's able to split there, wraparound chance, and that didn't miss by much as the Bulldogs were forechecking and came up with a loose puck. One-timer stopped there as by Sampson as a shot from Penny just right on the hash mark of the face-off circle. 9:58 left to go here in the opening period, and a good pace to this one there. If you love fast hockey, this has been pretty good. Up and down action. Teams putting on a show here to wrap up day number 2 of the Day of Champions here from the Credit Union Arena in Truro. Dumped in here by Breton Whitty, and he'll go in after it, and he'll take a light bump there from Dante McDonald. And that will allow Statcook to try to get things going here for the Bulldogs. And a nice little move there by Malcolm McDonald. And following up, Statcook, like him. Statcook, a wrist shot, and a stop by Sampson, and no rebound. Excellent rebound control there by Sampson, and good shift there by Liam Statcook. Really getting some good offensive chances. He had one sail over the net and earlier in the shift, but right there, allowed the walk down Main Street, but Dante McDonald allowed to come out of his own zone and get something generated for the Bulldogs, and Statcook was almost a benefactor, but as we come up to the 5.5-minute mark, there's still no score between the Flyers and the Bulldogs. The Provincial Day of Champions here from Truro. Shots 4-3 now in favor of the Antigonish Bulldogs. Back to the point, and it hops over the stick there of John Boyd, and the Flyers are off to a race in the 2-on-1 as they try to set Murphy up, and he can't get there in time as a good defensive play by John Boyd. Sometimes when the defensive player makes a mistake like he did, he's usually the first one back, and that was the case there for the Bulldogs. And it's dumped in there by Antigonish, and they'll change all 5 skaters here as we pass the 6-minute mark here of the first period. Hudson Murphy there picked off as the Bulldogs steal it right off his stick. They're also trying to get a change underway here. Swenemer poked off. Nice work there by Murray. Andrew Murray now. And the bigger Swenemer comes up with the puck. A different size advantage for sure between Swenemer and Andrew Murray. Oh, and a nice stick once again. John Boyd there gets back and takes that scoring chance away there from the Flyers as he gets his big reach in on Finley Howe. What a big poke that was off his stick. He has had a couple of great plays so far in this one as we're coming up to the 7-minute mark here of the first period. Here's a turnover. Hines lost it momentarily. That hit the back of it as it goes towards the far side corner. Try to settle down. Jesse McDonald to try to clear for the Bulldogs. He'll go high, and it gets past Swinemer and down. 7:50 left to go in the first. Bulldogs changing again. Hines there gets a little bump, and that stalls his progress towards the goal. As I start to get a little physical here at the Community Credit Union Arena in Truro. Couple of sticks exchanged there between McDonald and a Flyer player. Puck here in center ice area. Back down into the Bulldog zone. Jackman, couple of nice moves. Jackman wrist shot, and that's deflected into the protective netting and out of play. Good pace, good start for both of these teams here. 7:22 left to go as we pass the halfway point. 4-4 the shots, and if it wasn't for John Boyd, there could be a little bit more shots in terms for the Flyers as he had to make a couple of nice defensive plays in his own zone, and he actually got back there one of those short, on those odd man rushes there for the Flyers. Got back and put that potential scoring drive away. Sweater now for wrist shot. That hits bodies, bounces in front of the goaltender Boyd. 7 to go here. Bouncing puck right now, settled down here by Antigonish, and now they'll drop it back and get things organized. McDonald there goes cross ice, looking for Mitchell Arsenault. Too far out of his reach, and just back down into the Bulldog zone, and just fresh off the bench, Shaw Boyd now. Trying to settle that bouncing puck down, gets a shot that's blocked there as Sweater gets in the way of that there for the Flyers. Gets to the blue line. Wrist shot on his way here by McEachran. That doesn't get through. And a pass there in the feet of Murphy, and it will go all the way down. And it will be an icing call with 6:26 left to go. Still 4-4 the shots, and gotta like the defensive play from both of these teams here so far. We've seen some little defensive breakdowns a lot here in these championships, but nothing yet. It's pretty well solid teams defensively, so we could be on our way to a low-scoring one, but of course that remains to be seen. Still lots of hockey left. There's a slapper, and getting a piece of it was Sampson. Brennan McDonald right there just allowed the wheel. And Sampson got enough, and it went over the net as Bulldogs are pressing again. Flyers hoping to clear. It's picked off momentarily, but here they do get things going. 3 wide on the way. Everett Murphy, and that's a stop there by Boyd, and he wasn't too looking comfortable on that one, but he did get it, and that's all it really seems to be the matter. And important right now is that Murphy gets one in there. And now the Flyers will start off on change, so Hudson Murphy all by himself as the puck will come out. And now Penny has a chance to clear her for the Bulldogs and can't. Goes down on the play. It's actually Parker McEachran, my apologies. Bouncing puck settled down here by the Bulldogs, and here they come on the attack. From well out, a shot there by Malcolm McDonald is stopped there by Sampson. So 5-5 the shots here. Coming up to 5 to go here in the first period. Flyers, little disorganized, getting out of their own zone, gets by everybody, sent down the ice. So they'll get a change started on the icing call with 5:01 left to go. Flyers and Bulldogs here in a battle of North versus South. Flyers 7-1-0 in the playoffs, beat Bedford 4-1 in the semis and 3-2. They defeated Tassa in the championship Final, and that was a long distance game for them as they went 2 overtime periods and 9 rounds in the shootout. Whitty hoping to get something generated here. He's got Jackman with him. Jackman sets up Hines, and he's unable to settle it down. Brady Hines, also known as B Money by his teammates there, as that misses the net. Hopping in there is Emerson Irwin to pinch in and keep it alive inside the Bulldog zone there for the Flyers. 4:20 left to go. Jackman trying to hit a couple of teammates there. There are too many jerseys there in the area there, so of course you have 2 jerseys over there. That means 2 white jerseys are going to be as well, so a lot of offense in a short amount of area just leads for cluster, and Bulldogs will send it down the ice as a result of it. So 4:10 left to go as they were trying to get the cycle game going there for the Flyers. As I said, both of these teams look pretty stellar defensively. Not much going in terms of shots on goal. Just 5-5. I mean, there's been times and there's been chances for both these teams, and they only have 5 shots so far on the board for each team. Goes to show you how stellar they have been defensively. Here's Murphy now trying to split the D. He does, but the puck rolls to Boyd, and he covers up. Nice play there by Owen Murphy, and Boyd covering up, just let it come right to him and allow the Bulldogs to try to get something organized here. Late stages of this first period, 3:57 left to go. Here's a loose puck. Boyd dives. It's waved off. I think the net went off its moorings. They reacted, and the referee will make his way over to the Flyers bench. But the net came off its pegs. And going back to that play where Boyd came out, he had a do-or-die play, and, well, he ended up paying the piper, but a little bit of lady luck as the net was off its pegs, so we'll still stay at no score. 3:52 left to go. You go to do the Johnny Bauer poke check, or the poke check, and swan dive and come up with nothing. That's what kind of happens. Flyers still pressing. You can sort of sense and smell that they may be able to get a goal here on this shift. Bulldogs get it out. Swenemeyer bouncing puck. And now the Flyers at a late stage of their shift are going to go off for a change. So some open ice here for the Bulldogs, and it's picked off. Here comes Finley Howe. Finley Howe, wrist shot. Boyd with the save. And once again, the net comes off its pegs as driving towards the net was Hayes. Looking for the pass there from Finley Howe. Malachi Finley Howe with some speed coming down his opposite wing. Got the wrist shot. It handcuffed Boyd. There was a rebound momentarily. And Matt Hayes driving to the net, knocked it off. They're going to say it was knocked off by a Bulldog player, so the puck will stay in the zone there. There's a clean face-off win by the Flyers. Brienne with the slapper and the stop there by Boyd. Boyd starting to face a little more pucks here late stages. 9-5 now the shots as the Flyers have maybe saw something in the Bulldogs defense here that may be able to open them up for offensive opportunities. Finley Howe. Centers there, and it's poked by Boyd. Brienne with a shot. Skylar Brienne, and that's stopped there by Boyd. Nice job by the Bulldogs. They got so that Boyd could see the shooting lane of the shot as they really impeded these Flyer players from getting a screen set up, and Brett Boyd up to the task again with his 10th save. So the Flyers having 2 really good back-to-back shifts, and scoring chances starting to add up there for them. Hines here along the boards here. McDonald there trying to center there for the Flyers and can't. Cameron McDonald. Puck in behind the net there is aforementioned Cameron McDonald. Centers Hines, and Boyd gets a piece as it goes and sails over the net. Knuckles, there's a knuckler that Boyd had to be careful of. So starting to get busier. The 2 goaltenders is Brett Boyd, and he looks sharp. Flyers in their own zone. Hines trying to spin away and does. That'll put a lead pass up to Owen Murphy from well out. That's a glove save. A little bit of a juggling act there by Boyd, but He holds on there for the whistle with 2:14 left to go here in the first period. And it's been a good one here between these teams. And Flyers with 3 solid lines here that have given them really good shifts. And the shots on goal starting, but we're even at 1 point. 13-5, 8 straight shots here since the Bulldogs had their last. And once again, the Bulldogs are having a hard time clear. They finally do get it out to center ice area. A lot of new players on this Antigonish Bulldog team. First-year players for sure. Murphy scores! Everett Murphy walks down Main Street, taking advantage of some of this younger Antigonish Bulldogs and puts it by Boyd through the wickets, 1-0. Everett Murphy, 1:51 left to go in the opening period. Gives the Flyers a 1-0 lead. And you could just sort of see that they started mounting the shots. They were even at 5 apiece, and then 3 to 4 great shifts here from these forward lines here from the Flyers. And then they're finally rewarded there as Everett Murphy, with a little bit of room, walked down Main Street, a shot that went through the pads of Boyd. 1-0, 100 seconds left to go here in the first period. As you hear, Everett Murphy, the goal scorer, as I mentioned. Oh, Hudson Murphy, the twin brother, gets an assist on it. Sam Swimmer also an assist. 13:09, the time of the goal, and now they're back looking for more in a 2-on-2. They center it there, but there's nobody there. Brienne now comes up here for the Flyers. Joins the rush. And pinching in here as they try to get the pass to Brienne. Brienne spinning away, trying to get away from Parker McEachran. Parker McEachran got the winning goal in the 4th round of the shootout there in their 2-1 win over the Glace Bay Miners, but he's here trying to defend and try to stop things here for the Flyers as we're under a minute to go. Here, the big collision there, close to center ice. The puck will down into the Flyers' end. 40 seconds left to go. 14-5 the shots, as I've mentioned. There's a slapper from well out there by Shaw Boyd. It misses everything, and back the Flyers are in transition. Hayes hits center ice area, takes a bump, goes down on the play, and the Flyers are retreating back into their own zone with 20 seconds left to go. Up there forechecking, Marcus Penny there for the Bulldogs. Slapped there by John Boyd. It actually hits a stick, and now the Flyers. Brienne makes a couple of nice moves, lost a biscuit, and Shaw Boyd will send it down fluttering there, no icing. 4 seconds left to go, and that's how this first period ends. It was a close one there for a good portion of the period, but the late stages, the Flyers found their offense, had some solid shifts, and they get rewarded with a goal from Everett Murphy, from Hudson Murphy, and Swinmer at 13:09 of the first period. Shots 14-5. And it is a loud crowd here on a Saturday afternoon here from the Community Credit Union Arena. So if you're just joining us here for the first time, there is 3 15-minute periods, and the first and second periods, there's just a very slight 1 to 2 minute intermission. So it's supposed to be 2, but I think it's sometimes shorter than that. And then they play the second period, and then they have the intermission between the second and the third period. And the third period is 15 minutes. So Brett Boyd, of course, he looked pretty good, like 14 stops, 13 stops he had in that period, and they were pretty well hard ones there. So he had a pretty good first period, and I'm not sure if he really would like to have the one there back from Everett Murphy. That was a wrister that had lots on it. But it's right now the only marker here in this game as we're back underway here in the second period. So this is where the long change comes into effect. So if you're the Flyers and Bulldogs defensemen, got to beware and make sure that no players actually get in behind you there. Hines slapper rolls in. It actually hit a couple of Bulldogs before it got towards the net, so that wasn't an easy one as it had a little bit of knuckler effect. Irwin kept it in. Whitty trying to spin away. Whitty trying to spin away from McEachran. And now they'll work it to the far side boards to Hines once again. Brady Hines in behind the net. Trying to center now. They'll bring it out to the blue line. Hops over Martin's stick and back down into their own zone. So we come up to 1 minute gone here in the second period. Jackman didn't know where it was. It was in his feet. He didn't know it. Allowed the Bulldogs to come up with it, and now they'll try to get something going here with Statcook. He had a good early shift there in the first period. On the drive here is Jackman. Loses the handle, has to go in the corner to retrieve the puck there. Brady Hines once again trying to come up with a loose puck. Gets a stick there up on the Antigonish Bulldog player. Referee right there says no penalty. Play continues on. Could have been a high stick, but he's right there. Probably had a better angle than I did. 13:27 left to go here in the second period. Bulldogs turn it over. And now sent deep there by the Flyers. And trying to spin around there is Hudson Murphy. And it's poked there by the Bulldogs out to center ice area. Spooner tried to wrist it. It actually hit his own man. And it's followed up there by Skylar Brienne, who sends it in the rest of the way there for the Flyers. And they'll come up with a loose puck. Driving towards the net was Murphy. Tried to give and go, and the go didn't come to him. And the Bulldogs clear and sent back down. 12:51 left. Played offside. And the Flyers will dump in. They'll get some fresh legs out there. 2 minutes and 20 seconds gone here in the second period. Bulldogs been stuck at 5 shots for a long time there. Probably since maybe about 6 minutes ago in the period. There's a roller there that Boyd had to be careful about, and he'll smother it there for the stop. Bulldogs have just unable to get anything in terms of transition offense the other way, and not sure what the adjustment has been made there by Brian Irwin of the Sackville Flyers, the head coach of this team, but he's got all lines going here. Forward lines have just had some great shifts back to back, so they're rolling them all out, and he's giving them results here, and right now, as a result of that, they have a 1-0 lead. Jackman looking for the return pass. It doesn't come. He's outside the blue line. He'll slap it from well out, and Boyd has to stop that one. And another shot on goal, 17-5 of these shots right now as we come up to the 3-minute mark here of the second period. Everett Murphy, late stages, 13:09 of the first. The only goal so far. Bulldogs hoping to maybe to change that. Here's Jesse McDonald. He'll send it in. Jackman first back there for the Flyers. And he gets by everybody, turns on the Jets. Josh Jackman, lead pass up ahead. Pound has it. Didn't get much on the shot. 11:36 left to go. Jackman there. Lost it momentarily. Still kept it inside the line. And the shot is stopped there by Boyd on the 55-footer. There by Josh Jackman. He was doing some stick handling and almost went over the line. Coming up to 3.5 gone here in the second period. Irwin from just the top of the face-off circle with the stop, and Boyd the save. "13 straight shots on goal here for the Flyers. That gets by everybody. Here's a foot race. Irwin easily will win that against Jesse McDonald. And up with the puck here, Andrew Murray with a shot, and that's stopped. And finally, they get a shot on goal, and Sampson with the stop. Josh Jackman has said that he's pretty well the guy that drives the offensive bus here for the Flyers, and that has been the case. Once he gets the puck, 2 steps, and he's off to the races. 11:16 left to go. Whitty on the draw here, trying to win it for the Flyers. Comes back to Dante McDonald, and he'll go in. Jackman, as we have talked about his great skills here so far, has the puck pretty well stuck to his stick like a magnet, and it's back down and into the Bulldog zone. Penny will settle it down here. Actually, the pass was tended for Penny, my apologies. So it was Dante McDonald with the pass up, and it was too far for Penny to handle. So Bulldogs have iced the puck with 10:53 left to go in the period. And, of course, we've got some women's action tomorrow here, the Day of Champions. And Hockey Nova Scotia will have coverage of all the games tomorrow to wrap up the Day of Champions here from Truro with female hockey action. This is the final game of the day. This will be my final game here of these championships. And I want to thank everybody for bringing me on board to do this, because I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are too. And this has been a dandy game to call. Parker McEachran. Oh, and a nice stick there by the Flyers. They poke it right off before he can get the shot. Bring it to the near side boards. Loose puck up for grabs, and the Bulldogs looking a little bit better here. Maybe try to get something offensively going here. Penny there, and that's picked off by Martin. And back the Flyers come to center ice. Dumped in. And they'll start a change. Pound and Hayes and Martin hop over the boards here for the Flyers. Randall holding it in. And now Bulldogs will try to get something going with their pass. Their breakout pass is picked off by the Flyers and sent back in. They go right up the middle. Martin right there for the Flyers, and now he'll put on some speed. Martin, wrist shot, wide of the net. 18-16 the shots. Randall holds the line here for the Flyers. Takes a push there from Shaw Boyd from the Bulldogs. Finley Howe up there. Puck cleared by the Bulldogs to center ice area. Martin once again on the dump in. And here comes the big orange unit once again here. So they'll send it to an open wing. Brienne was not there, just getting into your picture right now. Eludes a hit there from Brendan McDonald. There's Finley Howe there with a wrist shot. Didn't miss by much. Irwin now. Hines there tries to walk out front. And well defended there by the Bulldogs at the last second. And there takes a funny bounce in front. One of the Flyers players go down. There's a penalty call coming up. It's an interference penalty. And Brady Hines was a little slow to get up there for the Flyers. Actually, it's Matt Hayes, my apologies. 8:56 left to go. Penalty going to Parker McEachran. So the playoff record for the Antigonish Bulldogs, 5-1. They eliminated Truro 2-0, eliminated Brookfield 2-1. Second round, they claimed the Fun Day Highland League title. And they were silver medalists back at the March break tournament, outscoring their opponents by, 24-12 in 5 games. 8:40 left to go here in the second. 18-6. The shots. Flyers pressing. Here's Jackman again. That actually worked out better. It almost worked as a one-timer, and they were allowed to tee it up and score. Cameron McDonald makes it 2-0. Hit a player, went there, and it almost worked as a one-timer because Cameron didn't waste much time. Making it 2-0. 6:33 to time, and it's a power play one. The Bulldogs now starting to get themselves dug into a hole. Cameron McDonald. So with all the McDonalds there on the Bulldogs, it's the lone McDonald on the Flyers that gets the goal. And Boyd has to make another stop. 4 seconds shy of 8 minutes to go here in the second period. (20-6). The shots now. It was a tight game, but the Flyers have found and put it up another gear, and Irwin was unable to keep it in. A long distance shot goes for naught on the offside with 7:49 left to go. So Everett Murphy 13:09 of the first, and Cameron in here in the second have hit a 2-0 lead. As the fans here try to make some noise here at the Community Credit Union Arena. Malachi Finley Howe out here to take the draw here for the Flyers. Him and Hayes and Pound are the forward line. There's a shot, scores! Look at that! Malachi Finley Howe, 7:21 here in the second period, makes it 3-0. Won the draw, kept on going, a wrist shot through Boyd, 3-0. Adam Ketch, the backup goaltender for the Antigonish Bulldogs, staying right where he's at right now. So Coach Aaron McDonald will continue to ride Brett Boyd right now as we pass the halfway point here of the second period. 3-0 the score. Dante McDonald, a stick save there by Sampson. He's only had to face 2 shots here so far in the period, Sampson has, and he had to stick one on the previous shot. And now it's set in behind the net there by the Flyers, but it'll be Martin that will come up with it there. Flyers hoping to get something going in transition. They had 3 off to the races, but they lost the biscuit in the process. Andrew Murray loses the handle. And now Finley Howe out there. A little bit too far for everybody, sent down the ice. So they'll get the change. Everybody will get fresh legs aside, and Finley Howe gets a pat on the shoulder as he goes off to the bench. 6:47 left to go here in the third period, and Bulldogs are now, well, they're in trouble. They may have to call Kenny Loggins because they're definitely in the danger zone of losing this hockey game, but there's still lots to be played there, still in our third period, but it's really important for them to get the next one. Brennan McDonald sends it in behind the goal. Blind pass. They'll go back to the point here. Flynn now, wrist shot, and that's stopped there by Sampson. Nice passing there by the Bulldogs, and that's probably been their best offensive chance there of the game. 6:24 left to go here in the second period. Shots right now 21-7 in favor of the Flyers. McDonald sent out of the face-off circle. Josh Jackman will go in now for the Flyers, and he'll win it. Flyers try to go high, and it's knocked down. Swing and a miss there by Stalker, and back out center ice it goes. Here's Whitty now. And it's going to be brought back on the offside. 6 minutes and 13 seconds left to go. So Everett Murphy, Cameron McDonald, and Finley Howe, the goal scorers here for the Flyers. And Antigonish here so far looking for their first one. It was a relatively close game in the early part of the first period and the midway point. And now here the Flyers have just seemed to have opened things up and starting to have their way now. There's a chance there on the doorstep. There for the Flyers was Martin, and a swing and miss. Here comes Antigonish. They'll get back out to center ice area no further. They're a little bit too high there for Hines to knock down. Malcolm McDonald now loses the handle. Back on the Flyers. Now they'll set it in. Hines now, wrist shot. Boyd with a stop. Big juicy rebound cleared by Antigonish and sent down. 5:38 left to go here. His first back in his own zone. Dayton Randall there for the Sackville Flyers. And Malcolm McDonald now coming up with the puck here for the Antigonish Bulldogs. Gets towards the middle of the ice. Hines there picks his pocket, trying to spin away from pressure, and does. Now he'll hit the blue line. Going end to end is Hines now, trying to go wide. And he'll go in towards the corner and in behind the net with 5:10 left to go. Martin was maybe waiting for it, didn't come to him. Murphy there, Hudson Murphy. Slapped it in, that hits a body, goes towards the corner. Bulldogs trying to clear. It's picked off there by Owen Murphy there for the Flyers. Following up, Hudson Murphy. Martin now, wrist shot, and that doesn't get towards the net, and Antigonish on the breakout here with 3, but it put it right into a maze of skates and sticks as it took the center ice area with 4:38 left to go. Brendan Penny loses the puck. Here's Everett Murphy now. And a shot there by Murphy. Owen Murphy is stopped by Boyd with 4:31 left to go here in the second period. The Bantam A Day of Champions banner up for grabs, and right now one hand is on it there by the Flyers, hoping to get the other hand on it. 4:30 left to go. Swinimer. And that's stopped by Boyd. Juicy rebound right there. Owen Murphy in the vicinity, but unable to cash it in because of backhand, and Boyd stops that one. Boyd facing so many shots, 26-7. You just remember, as I say, it feels like minutes ago it was 5-5, but 26-7 the shots now in favor as the Flyers are really taking it to the Bulldogs. The ice has been tilted to one side of the sheet here so far. 4:16 left. And once again, the Murphys are up here. The whole Murphy line, the Hudson Murphy, Everett Murphy, and Owen Murphy line here for the Flyers, and they jam it against the post, and Boyd has to make another stop. Boyd's faced more rubber than a skunk on the Trans-Canada Highway right now with 4:08 left to go. And right now, Antigonish just has no answers here to stop this Flyers pressure. Finley Howe has got one of the 3 goals here for the Flyers out here on the draw and wins it quite handily. Back to the point. Brienne, and that doesn't get through, and it's the Bulldogs that will hopefully try to get a chance to clear for their fans' sake. Nothing much going right here in the second period. Once again, Finley Howe there at a shot that's stopped by Boyd. He didn't know where it was, but he had it all the time, and he'll cover up. And another line change here for the Flyers. 3:53 left. And now the line here of Flynn, Stocker, and Kieran McDonald. Kieran McDonald's been pretty quiet here so far, the top scorer. Clean face-off win for the Flyers. They try to get it backhand, but it's poked off a stick just in time. Back the other way, Andrew Murray. He's been all over the ice, but hasn't been able to get nothing much going offensively here for the Antigonish Bulldogs. 3:35 left to go. The puck hops over Stocker. And now Finley Howe, wrist shot. It hits a stick and goes wide of the net. 3:24 left to go. They'll go back to Jackman. Wrist shot. It hits a stick, but right there on the doorstep was Hayes there off the deflection. Power coming up there. Trying to lay the man Irwin, pardon me. That's a stick save once again there by Boyd as it's poked away. Try to do the wraparound, and it runs out of real estate. He's Hayes. He actually blew a tire. And here the Bulldogs, they'll get just outside the line, no further. Offside the call. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the second period. And it has been all Flyers here. It's been all Flyers pretty well. About the 11-minute or 12-minute mark there of the first period, and it's carried over here into the second. 2:55 left to go in this one, and the Bulldogs just looking for something positive before they go off to the dressing rooms here for the intermission. 2:47 left to go, and with a burst of speed here is Cameron McDonald, one of the goal scorers there, and a nice little play there by the Bulldogs. Poked out the center ice, slapped back in, delayed offside. Now they're onside, ready to get things going there. The Flyers there. Hines bumps his man. Whitty comes up with the puck there for the Flyers. McDonald chips it in, goes in after it. First back there, John Boyd. Bumped there by Hines. Bulldogs get it to the blue line no further. There's a slapper there. It doesn't get towards the net. Bulldogs will try to get cleared here along the far side boards. And we're blowing the boom. There is Randall there on the Bulldog player, and he's going to be called for body contact. They're getting a little bit too aggressive in terms of the checking here, so going to be called for the charge with 2:04. So the Bulldogs, this is one of your chances here. There haven't been too many power play chances. I believe it's the first one here for the Bulldogs. 2:04 left, 3-0 the score. And it's going to be one there by the Flyers, and they'll send it right in with 2 left to go. So charges a call against Dayton Randall there as he took about 3 or 4 steps before rolling over the Bulldog player. Boyd trying to take care of things on his own end as puck gets towards center ice. And now the Bulldogs here on the attack, but not for long. Sent down the ice on a nice stick there by Sam Schwenemer. 1:35 left to go in the period. 31-7 the shots, and Bulldogs just trying to get organized in their own zone. And puck gets to center ice area. Coming back was Andrew Murray for the puck. Jesse McDonald checked momentarily there by Hudson Murphy, and Hudson Murphy sends it in the rest of the way. As Jesse McDonald will spin around looking for the puck. It was in his feet. Nice little move there by the Bulldogs, and now they'll break in. But they were a little bit eager as the line mate was ahead of the play on the offside with 66 ticks left to go here in the second period. 3-0 still to score. Once again, Everett Murphy at 13:09 of the first. Cameron McDonald, 6:33 here in the second, and 7:21. So 2 goals in 48 seconds have sort of opened up the floodgates. Slapper from well out, wide of the net as John Boyd stepped in, wheeled on that one there for the Bulldogs, but missed the target. Jesse McDonald now sends it down low, goes towards the net, gets a stick on it, and that's stopped by Sampson. That's their best chance so far of the period for sure. They went towards the net and tried to get the stick, and they almost deflected past Sampson. Sampson's been pretty stellar, even though he's only had to face 8 shots. A clean face-off win by the Flyers and sent down. 44 seconds left, 39 seconds left, and the charging penalty to Dayton Randall. Long lead pass up ahead. Statcook has it poked off his stick. And nice work here by Finley Howe there for the Flyers. Oh, and a nice little move here by Andrew Murray, but he's going to go wide, and he's going to be watched over there by Jackman there. And also following up is Irwin there for the Flyers. 14 seconds left. They center it, and it's picked off by the Flyers, and the Flyers may try to get a shorthanded chance in the late stages here of the period. 7 seconds left. 3 seconds left in the penalty. That will do it. Randall's ready to come out, and it does join. 1 second left. You'll hear the horn, and that's how this second period is. It was all Flyers there in the second. The shots 31-8. And Everett Murphy, as you said, scored in the first. It's Cameron McDonald, 6:33 in the second, and Finley Howe, 7:21 here in the second period. Shots, as I said, 31-8. So we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with third period coverage. The Sackville Flyers leading the Antigonish Bulldogs in the Bantam A Provincial Final Day of Champions. You're watching Bell 5 TV1's coverage of the Day of Champions from Truro. Third period set to get underway here at the Community Credit Union Arena. Dan Hobson along for the call. Here is the Bantam A Provincial Championship Final and the Day of Champions. Final game of the day, final period of the day underway here in Truro. So if you're just joining us, Everett Murphy started the scoring late there in the first period, 13:09. And then Cameron McDonald at 6:33 made it 2-0. And then Malachi Finley Howe made it 3-0 at the 7:21 mark. So 2 goals there in the second period in a 48-second time frame. Have the Flyers up by 3, so Bulldogs have some work cut out for them. It got off to a good start, both of these teams going end to end, and solid defense and stuff to start the period, start the game. And then the Flyers put it up a notch and have now tallied 31 shots against, of course, Boyd, who has been pretty good for the Bulldogs in nets, and only 8 shots they've gotten at Sampson. So they're maybe hoping they'll increase those numbers here as we come up to a minute gone here. Finley Howe takes a bump before dumping it in, and now it will be the Bulldogs that will go back for the puck in their own zone. And it's going to be Irwin there that has it. Actually, it will be Hayes. And it comes out front and it's poked away there by the Bulldogs. Hayes spinning. Face-off circle still has it there. And he set up Pound. Pound was sort of flat-footed and didn't get much on the backhander there. Nice little move by Martin, but he lost the puck in the process. Hayes has it. He's all alone. Hayes, Deeks, goes top shelf, scores. I think Boyd tried to gas and he went down, and a lot of patience showed there. And it's 4-0. 1:35 here in the third period makes it 4-0. And that's not the start that the Bulldogs wanted. They really needed to get that early goal here to give them a chance here in this third period, bring it to a 2-goal game, and now it is a 4 spot that they're down. Hayes at 1:35. And Pound with an assist. And Hikaru Martin there, the other assist. You can tell that the PA doubts are getting a little bit tired here as he's, and he even pretty well told me when I was talking to him before the game, it's getting to be a real long days here at the rink, and he's been here from pretty well the opening puck drop, so he did all the games yesterday and all today, and he'll be back here once again. And so will Bell 5 TV1, 2.5 gone. Murphy, backhander towards the net. And it's cleared by the Bulldogs center ice area. So Everett Murphy, Cameron McDonald, Finley Howe, and Hayes, 4 different scorers here for the Flyers, have them up 4-0. Sent in behind the boards there. And the Bulldogs need something positive, need something to generate offense. It has been very quiet for them. They only had 2 shots there in that second period. So they'd like to put that one in their memory banks here and try to win this third one. Schwedmer there gets it. Tees it up as wide of the net. And spinning around looking for it there was Owen Murphy there for the Flyers. Schwedmer, wrist shot. It actually hits the body out front there of Statcook. Murphy, down low. Murphy coming out front. Owen Murphy there for the Flyers. Takes a bump there. Allowed to walk out front, but Boyd holds the post and holds the line there for the Bulldogs. They say, got to give him some player of the game, votes there for the Bulldogs. He stops another one. 31 stops here. That was his 35th shot. He faced another one here for Murphy, and that's a stop as Everett Murphy was allowed high slot there to get a shot, and he had to make another save, his 32nd of the afternoon. They say the Flyers, they went end to end there to start this game, but they now it's just rolling out all 4 lines that they want here. That almost went over and snuck in underneath the crossbar there on a deflection. Close call. 4 minutes gone here. And another save there by Boyd. It's turning into a shooting party here as the Bulldogs will send it down. A tough afternoon now, 38-8. A one-sided game. But the thing is that this Bulldog team, we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, a lot of first-year players here on this team, so they may not be used to this sort of stage of play, and they seem to be, of course, the second-best team out here right now as we come up to 4.5 gone here in the third period. As rimming it around there is McEachran. And it's the Flyers that will hold the line and keep it in. McEachran taking a bump there from Hines there from the Flyers. Randall pokes it out, or pokes it in, and keeping it alive there for the Flyers. Sent there, back down there by the Antigonish Bulldogs, and they have iced the puck. We're coming up to the 5 minutes gone here in this third period. And it has gotten to be a little bit quiet there on the Antigonish Bulldogs side. There was a lot of noise earlier, and it's seemed to have gone by the wayside. Of course, the score indicates that too, as we're back underway past the 5 minute mark. Poked out there by the Bulldogs. Center ice area. Dump in is knocked down. Now they'll go across ice. John Boyd. Murray loses the handle. Hines now. Just seems like the Flyers just have like a system set up there, and they just like block any scoring drives or transition offense here for the Bulldogs. Just nothing and nowhere really to set. They sort of like set like a little 2-1-2 up there and make it hard. Player lost his glove on the play. It's one of the Flyers, so they'll go and retrieve it. Puck back down into the Flyer zone. 9:20 left to go. Hines takes a shot. And it goes over the net. In behind the goal. A loose puck is up for grabs. And the Bulldogs there use their size to their advantage there to come up with it. There's a wrister from Martin that's well out. That's stopped by Boyd. Boyd looks one way. He was a little out of position, and it banks off him, and scoring is the Flyers once again to make it 5-0. .606 the time of the fifth goal here for the Flyers. And Boyd, he was in no man's land there, looked really uncomfortable, lost his stick, out of position, and he paid for it. And they found the opening, and it just squeezed by. 5-0 the score. 8:53 left to go in the period. Clock hasn't started here at the Community Credit Union Arena. So they'll probably take some time off once they realize that the clock hasn't started here. Murphy now, wrist shot, and that's stopped by Boyd. And he just throws the puck away in disgust here. 42-8. I've never seen such a lopsided shots on goal clock in my years of covering the sport. Flyers win. Brienne on a blocker save by Boyd. How can you not give a Player of the Game award to Boyd? 38 stops in this one. Now he'll poke it aside here. Now people are starting to indicate that the clock hasn't started. Of course, it's been stuck at 8:54 for a good while there. And now it's we finally get a buzz there to get the stoppage in play to maybe get the fixture on the clock. Yep, so they're going to hopefully maybe try to get this fixed here. And 1 second has come off here. All this amount of play. There's probably been about 2 minutes of play. So see if they make the adjustment here and take some time off this clock. And they're going to do that right now and send the clock down. And Danny Carter, the scorekeeper of this game here, managing the clock. He's the usual PA announcer here for the Truro Bearcats of the Junior A Hockey League that plays here. They had their season come to an end. It was a first-round elimination by the Yarmouth Mariners, so he's manning the clock here for this Day of Champions. As we're back underway here with 8:20 left to go here in the third period. And it has been all Flyers. 43-8 the shots, 5-0 the score. There's a wrister from well out by Randall. And Boyd makes a stop and then steers it towards the side boards. Here's a potential break here. Malcolm McDonald. And they set up Brendan McDonald. Brendan McDonald scores! They break the shutout bid of Braden Sampson. First time they had a break there this game for them. And it is 5-1. Brendan McDonald with the score. You get those defensemen flat-footed there, and that was the case for the Flyers. And the Bulldogs went down. They look good, and Brendan McDonald put it by, and it makes it 5-1. Malcolm McDonald, the goal scorer, my apologies. Brendan McDonald with the assist, so. You see if they get a little lift from that one. In the meantime, offside as McDonald there makes a couple of nice little dangles in the middle of the ice. 1 second shy of the halfway point, and that will probably wake up this Antigonish Bulldog crowd, who have not really had a lot to cheer about here this afternoon. Reminder that we will keep it here for the players of the game, as well as sportsmanlike player of the game, and then a grinder player of the game. And of course the medals handed out to both the teams here following the conclusion of this one between the Bulldogs and the Flyers. 5-1. Bulldogs are on the board, and they still get lots of work left for them to do. 7:06 left, center ice area. Owen Murphy poked in, but a little bit eager, so it's offside, and a couple of players go down, and Murphy takes a little bit of a push there from Shaw Boyd. Nothing much materializes as clean heads and clean hearts win out there, and they'll all skate away and set up here for this face-off just outside the blue line. And nothing in terms of shenanigans and all that, which you don't like to see every once in a while in hockey. Of course, you see it once in a while, but you don't like to, especially in the development level here. And last weekend we had the Bell 5 TV1 was doing the Atlantics there from Lance, and one of the players towards the end of the game there for Newfoundland was just throwing punches, and definitely a very ugly scene. And we have seen some clean hockey here this weekend here in Truro, and nothing much in terms of like any extra post whistle shenanigans, and you may see the odd push and shove, but that's it, but nothing really much. Here's a 3-on-1. Finley Howe stays on side, was looking for the pass to come to him as he was driving towards the net, and it was too far out of his reach. Chance to clear for Penny, he didn't. There's a bouncing puck pound right there, but he couldn't get a good whack at it, and Boyd covers up with 6:27 left to go. Nice little wrist shot there by Malcolm McDonald for the Bulldogs goal. They put it right top shelf to break the shutout bid of Sampson. Sampson has only had to face 9 shots. In the meantime, the Flyers have put 45 towards Boyd. Scores! In behind the net, and that's one Boyd would like to have back. But the Flyers just keep pressing, and it makes it 6-1. The Flyers not really even doing anything in terms of celebrating, and this is what you like to see them do. Martin will get credit, I believe. It took one of those bounces and in it went. 6:16 left to go. Barring the roof collapsing here, Flyers look to be going to be the Bantam A champions here, and they've got 6 minutes till they'll go and get their hardware to make it official. This Antigonish Bulldogs, we talked about how they have Whitty getting his 2nd of the game, so he's gotten the back-to-back goals here, Whitty. And Brady Hines with an assist on it, so 8:33 to time, 6-1. 5.5 left to go, and McDonald here on the drive here for the Flyers. Irwin kept it alive, and a backhander there, didn't miss by much. And McDonald was gassed, and he needs to go for a change. Murphy hops on, Owen Murphy to be exact, and there he is, has the puck, poked off his stick there by the Bulldogs. Too many bodies on this side, so they'll go the far side. Swing and a miss there by Irwin, but it does get just a piece of it, actually. My apologies, and it stays there. Just got enough to keep it alive there for the Flyers. Less than 5 to go here in the period. Back to Martin now. And play is stopped. I believe the net's off its pegs again. Yes, it is. 4:48 left in this 3rd period. And 4:48 left in the day number 2 of the Day of Champions here from Truro. Women hit the ice tomorrow. And we'll have all the coverage there at Hockey Nova Scotia's website. So you can go there and find the link. And it just gets outside the line, so the Flyers will have to touch up. Now they're onside. Bulldogs slow to break out of their own zone there. Parker McEachran actually knocks his man Murphy down to the ice. 4:26 left to go. Hudson Murphy denied there. Stat Cook chasing it, but first back. Emerson Irwin there for, or Jackman, pardon me, for the Flyers. 4:08 left. It was kept alive there momentarily by the Bulldogs, and Finley Howe got in behind the D. Finley Howe with a nice move. Finley Howe and a wrist shot. And Boyd out of position, and net off its pegs once again. I don't think the referees notice it. Now they finally blow it down. It was definitely out of alignment for sure. 3:53 left to go. As the Flyers getting a little bit closer to that 50 shot on goal mark in the game. They've got 46 now and showing no signs of, taking their foot off the pedal. 6-1. But you got to wonder if Boyd wasn't so awake on some of the saves that he's made, what the score would be like. Hayes falls down hard. He takes a hit there as well. Seems to be okay. There's a slapper from well out by McDonald. It goes wide. It was a bouncing puck. Just as about he's ready to shoot. And didn't get much on it. 3:22 left to go. Here in the 3rd period. Hayes once again. Lead pass up ahead. Finley Howe trying to go wide there on McEachran. Bumped off the puck. Bulldogs try to clear. Kept alive. Was it kept along by Hayes? Yes, he did. Momentarily, it was poked in, but it's going to be picked off there by Boyd. Boyd taking his time. And now here's Statcook. Statcook with a slapper and an easy stop there by Sampson. There wasn't much on it. Just the 10th shot, so they've got the double digits on shots on goal, the Bulldogs have. Lead pass up ahead. Hines can't handle it. Boyd will poke it out of harm's way before he can get a shot. And outside the line, Whitty, who's got a couple of goals. Now Martin on his opposite wing. Cuts towards the middle. Martin still has it. Gets a shot. Not much on it. And it goes wide and missing the net. 2:23 left to go here in the final period here. Hines will go back. Martin, wrist shot. That hits a stick and goes wide. It actually hit one of the Bulldog stick. And it almost went on the glove side there of Boyd. Close call, late stages here. Third period, 2 minutes to go, slapped in. And it will be John Boyd that will take a look. Tried to go and set things over there to Parker McEachern. McEachern a little bit slow too. Whitty knocks him down. As now things start to get a little bit physical here, late stages of the third period. Hines, lead pass up ahead. Whitty was just cut off there by McEachern. McEachern just pokes it to center ice and down into the Flyer zone, but the Flyers break out again, and another stick there by McEachern. And off to the races, Jesse McDonald. Wrist shot, that's stopped by Sampson. 11th shot for him. 1:16 left to go. And the Flyers on the transition here, and a penalty coming up, and going to be a Bulldog player that will get the penalty here, so that will probably, if it isn't done yet, put a final nail in the coffin. Actually, you're going to send both of them off there, Irwin and Shaw Boyd. So coincidental minors here with 1:11 left. So 5 skaters aside. A very quiet Community Credit Union Arena here in Truro. Face-off is won, and it will be the Flyers that will get possession of it. Whitty, bumped there by Jesse McDonald. A slapper from out there by Flynn that goes towards the corner after hitting a body of a Flyer player. Less than a minute to go here in the third period. Swinimer gets things going here as he tries to go up the middle, and a wild swing and a miss there by Murphy. Owen Murphy there for the Flyers. 40 seconds left. Back to Swinimer now. Wrist shot, and another stop by Boyd. Shot number 48 there for the Flyers. 30 seconds left to go. Pass a little bit too far to reach a pound. He'll go in after it along with the Bulldogs. And one of them there was Andrew Murray there for the Bulldogs, and it's slapped there by Swinimer in behind the net with 16 seconds left to go. And back the puck goes down into the Flyer zone. Will it have enough for icing? Nope, been waved off there by the linesman. 7 seconds left. Flyers banging their sticks on the boards. They are your Bantam A Day of Champion, provincial champions, the Sackville Flyers. Hard pitcher for the Bulldogs to see as they pretty well turn their head and not watch the celebration and go to pat the back of their goaltender, Brett Boyd. 48 shots he faced in this one, 42 stops he made, and he made some tough ones earlier, but it was just a little bit too much here for the Bulldogs. The Flyers, the South champions, defeating the North champions, and quite handily. At one point, it was a back and forth game there in the first period, but then the Flyers sort of found that they were probably at the 8-minute mark there of the first period, put pressure on, and ended up getting a goal by Everett Murphy, and that's really all they needed here in this one, but they got 5 more to boot. And Malcolm McDonald there from the pass from Brendan McDonald, the only goal here for the Antigonish Bulldogs, so something positive in this game, and they were just the second best team out there. It was a learning experience here for this team. They came in with the best regular season they've ever had, 13-5-6, 27-13-8 overall, and it just was not enough. Just a really strong Sackville Flyers with the win over the Bulldogs. Awards time here, so they're going to hand it to the officials, of course, to start things off.
First off, we'd like to acknowledge the officials for today's game. Referees,
Brody McIsaac, the referee. Getting their medals for working this game.
Number 8, Andrew Murphy.
Andrew Murray all over the place there. We'll get a player of the game there for the Antigonish Bulldogs.
Hockey officers are player of the game for the gold medal winners, the Sackville Flyers. Number 15, Brady Hines.
Brady Hines, also known as B Money, so B Money's going to get himself a toque for being the player of the game here for the gold medal winning Sackville Flyers. Trying to get the coach's attention here to get for the sportsmanlike here for the Antigonish Bulldogs. Picked out by the coaches. Of course, it's a sportsmanlike award, so now the Flyers will make their way over there as well. So you get a player of the game, you get a sportsmanlike, and of course a grinder that's determined by the tournament officials here.
Boston Pizza Churros, most sportsmanlike player of the game for the Antigonish Bulldogs goes to number 14, Owen Murphy. Wow, and this has been a long day, so I apologize, Owen. Not you, buddy. Number 14, Adam Stalker.
Adam Stalker, the sportsmanlike player of the game there for the Antigonish Bulldogs.
Boston Pizza's most sportsmanlike player of the game goes to the Sackville Flyers. Number 2, Parker McHenry. Hudson Murphy.
Hudson Murphy getting the player of the game here for the getting the sportsmanlike player of the game. And he gets his picture taken there with the Hockey Nova Scotia officials.
The Hub Pro Grinder of the Game Award.
It's the Grinder Award here.
Flyers, number 10, Josh Jackman.
Josh Jackman getting the Grinder player of the game, so pretty good there. So, well, folks, we're going to wrap up day number 2 here of coverage. Congratulations once again to the Sackville Flyers on a 6-1 win over the Antigonish Bulldogs to claim the Bantam A Provincial Championship. So, for my producer, Neil Gordon, my name is Dan Hobson. Thank you for tuning in. And so long here from the Community Credit Union Arena in Truro. You're watching 5 TV1's coverage of the Day of Champions here on TV1.